Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to a brand new week, brand new day with new news, new chaos, new rules, new everything, it seems. There's just a lot of stuff going on here, and we're going to get us up to date on everything. Glad that you're here. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome here if you're here for the first time. My name is Tyler. I'm going to be helping navigate us through futures, through the wild world of the futures market. I can't tell you how many videos I saw of people saying it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Get ready. Get ready. We're going to crush it. We're going to full port everything. I can't tell you how many videos I saw of that. And I mean, to be honest, I started feeling that, oh man, this is going to get good. We're going to have some great price action. It's going to be amazing. We're not going to do that today. We're not going to go on tilt thinking of all the potential opportunities that we might be able to get. We're going to be very, very selective. Why? Because I'm assuming the volatility is going to be very high. I'm assuming the ATR is going to be very high. So we're going to see what the market wants to do. We're going to wait for a clean and clear setup. And I'm challenging myself to only take one trade today. Yes, you heard correctly. You heard correctly. Only one trade today. That is my goal. That is my goal. I might take the 930 model and then take another trade after that. That's a very plausible. I might even not even take the 930 model, to be honest with you. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll touch on a bunch of that stuff here, but let's go ahead, open in prayer, and then let's get our hearts right, and then take a look at the charts. Father, we just honor you this morning. Thank you for the opportunity to trade. Thank you for the opportunity we have to sit in front of the charts. Lord, I just pray protection over every individual that may be in harm's way in light of the things going on around the world. I pray protection over your people, protection over your children, and I pray a blessing over everyone here, Lord, that they would be blessed in everything they set their hands to, Lord. We just honor you today. Thank you in Jesus' name. And everyone in the chat commented in the chat, hit the like button in the chat, and said amen. All right. So I got coffee this morning, but I got some creatine in my coffee. It's not bad. I don't even know it's there. Silver's up. Gold's up. Let's go ahead and mark our levels. Here we go. Let's go to there. Let's mark our levels here. All right, we're going to start with ES. We're going to mark our previous day high, previous day low. And we're going to also mark our previous week high and low. We're going to do the same thing on NQ. %50 level from Friday. Let's make sure we mark that. And then let's drop down to the 4-hour time frame on each chart, and let's take a look at for any points of liquidity, any fair value gaps here. No fair value gaps. We just got the large volume imbalance. We'll mark that when we get down to the lower time frame. No fair value gaps on the 4-hour here either. So that means we do have a sweep of liquidity at 2 a.m. Dropping down to the 1-hour. Here's our 1-hour fair value gap that's most relevant. It's holding up price currently. That is at 4 a.m. this morning. And then we have a 4-hour or a 1-hour fair value gap holding down price. Okay, so you can see there, we're between 2 hourly fair value gaps, a CIVI and a BISI. This hourly candle here is very telling, potentially for lower prices. We'll see how that wants to play out. Dropping lower down to the 15-minute time frame. We got a 15-minute fair value gap down here. It is our lowest point of imbalance. We'll mark that. I have already marked out. You see that red line right there? I actually wanted to see if it was going to hit a fair value gap. And it did. It reached up to the lowest fair value gap inside this breaker and rejected it. Almost to the tick. So we have the range right here from high to low. Here's 50%. Bodies have respected it for the most part. So 50% has been tagged. And then we will also mark the new week opening gap here. We have filled half the gap so far, 75% of the gap in pre-market, but it will show empty from a daily perspective. All right, we have London low. It's our current low of day. And London high has been ran. Let's go ahead and mark midnight open. Midnight open is an untagged level as we speak right now. It's inside the opening range gap of the new week opening range gap. It's above the hourly. A little tidbit that I want, a little tip for you as you are growing as a trader. Anytime you see a wick like this with a fair value gap inside of it, anticipate that fair value gap will not be reached on its first attempt to move higher towards it. If you go lower here and you look at this wick, where does price stop? It stops just before that wick. Do you guys see that? Here's that candle's low, large wick, fair value gap inside that, overlapping with that candle's wick. But price doesn't reach up to that fair value gap because price will consider this as a balanced price range. So it doesn't need to rebalance this portion of price. So what does it do? It reaches just beneath that balanced price range and then moves lower. Just a little tidbit for you. Yeah, we have PMI manufacturing. I don't know how interested I am in it. I'm marking London low on ES and then midnight open. ES has hit midnight open. I'm not interested in the 930 model because the news today is bearish, and I don't know how the news is going to affect the opening price. It could just be chaotic. I'm not going to get in when there's that kind of potential reaction. It could just be the best move of the day. I'm not going to take it. I don't care. Our opening range gap is a premium opening range gap. Very large. Very, very large. I'm not even going to mark it right now. Let's see. Let the market play out here. I had this internal dialogue on Friday. I'm pretty sure we need to go short. I think I need to take a contract short into close and then see if we open up lower. That would have paid very nicely, but I did not do it, obviously. Huge. We're going to go over Apex rules, everyone. Apex is doing an 85% off sale on their brand new products. I just put a video out if you want to watch it. All the details are in there. I just put it out late last night. I literally did everything last night. But we will talk about some of those, answer questions, make sure if it's the right fit for you. Overall, for a majority of traders, the updates are massively good for traders. Massively good. Huge. Huge. As Trump would say. However, they threw a wrench into the scalability factor. The days of $1 million payouts, the days of touting I got a huge payout from Apex, those are gone. Those are gone. They're no longer existent. Apex now is capping the amount of money you're able to pull out from a single performance account. Depending on the type of account you get, will determine how much you're able to pull out from it. In context, everything that I reference is always a 50K account. So for a 50K trailing drawdown account, the max you can pull out is $14,500 over 6 payouts. For an end of day trailing drawdown, and end of day trailing drawdown goes into your performance account, which is super nice. There's only a few firms that actually do that. Apex is now one of them. Apex is by far the cheapest also. At $28 right now, you can get an end of day trailing drawdown. Guys, do you see this? I'm not even going to touch this. No. Yeah, you could probably scalp it, close your eyes, and go higher, but no. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Maybe we go for Friday's midpoint. I don't think there's even, I mean, these are all 1 minute candles, guys. I thought I was on the 5 minute chart. I'm sitting here watching this. I thought I was on the 5 minute chart for a second because that's how big this is. So, I mean, we just ran how many points? 200 points in 4 minutes. Going back to the Apex conversation. So after 6 payouts, your account is dissolved. That is correct. Now, they are still allowing up to 20 accounts. So, hypothetically, if you get an end of day trailing drawdown account for $28, that's what it is. Use the code DTJ, $28. If you pass your eval, if you build your buffer, and you get your 6 payouts totaling $13,000 on one account, and you do that on 20 accounts, you will be able to pull out $260,000. So when you compare that with other prop firms, there's no comparison. It's still a better deal. It is. But yes, they are removing the uncapped, sky's the limit, $1 million payouts that we've all come accustomed to strive for. Those are gone. Honestly, not surprising. Oh, also, they reviewed, excuse me. Also, Apex reduced their max drawdown. It used to be $2,500 for a 50K account. It is now $2,000. The same for Take Profit Trader and Tradify. In addition to all of this, they now have they still have the same activation or an activation fee. For the trailing drawdown, it's $79. For the end of day drawdown, it's $99. So all in it's $98 for trailing drawdown, $128 for end of day drawdown. Now here's the rule for payouts. You can take payouts every 5 days. And a day counts if you make over $200 on a 50K account. So for a day to count towards your 5-day rule for getting payouts, you have to make at least $200. So the likelihood of you having a payout every 5 days is unlikely. Anticipate it to be 10. Well, we are just, hallelujah, shooting to the moon, aren't we? Yeah, Lucid is too similar to Tradify. I did look into them. It's too similar to Tradify. Tradify, Lucid, very similar. Very, very similar. They do not have to be consecutive, lad. Here's our first red candle of the morning. All right, so once we get a big pump like this, drop a fib from the top to low and find out where midpoint is. Now you have two options. You can say, well, I think we're going to still pump higher. And then you can use this as a point of interest to go long from. That's the safest route. Or you could potentially try to take a trade down to equilibrium. That's not as good. It is around a breaker. It is around midnight open, so that's attractive. That just doesn't seem right. It's still saying the ATR is 27 handles. It's including all of these. That's why. Because this is how price moves. It's trying to manipulate your feelings. Let it just work itself out. Just let it work itself out. ES hit previous day low. NQ hit previous day low. Like I said, I'm looking for one trade. One trade. That's really what I want to be in. And I want to wait for the good one. I don't want to get caught up. It's easy to let your emotions. All right, newsflash. Here's how the human body and emotions work. People start talking about how crazy the day is going to be, how you need to be ready, get ready to full port. And subconsciously you're like, wow, this is going to be a good day. And you start leaning into wanting to take a trade. I was feeling that, and I'm intentionally pushing myself away and putting a restriction of one trade because I want to wait for something good. I want to wait for my model. And if the model fails, okay, it fails. It fails. Okay, I get it. But at least I was being patient and diligent enough to follow my plan. No, I saw you call for consolidation. At least if you're calling for consolidation, there's a good shot you don't take a trade. So at least you're not blowing your account. Yeah, I have it. That gray line right here is the midpoint of the gap right there. I'm interested in that level. There is no fair value gap to the upside here. Folks, I'll be honest with you. I do not have a daily affirmation for us today. I was up till 3 a.m. last night. I was up till 3 a.m. last night trying to get this stuff done, trying to get some videos. I've been working a long time on some videos, and it was a comparison video between prop firms, and then Apex changed everything. The video was going to go live in the next couple days, and half of my video is overviewing Apex's website, and now it's irrelevant. So I'm literally having to go back and redo all of those. I was really tired. I mean, I'm looking at Friday's midpoint right here, and here's the gap, end of the gap, so we're fairly close. I think it's fairly possible, but you don't take a trade off of do I think or do you think. You use it as all right, this is a draw on liquidity potentially. Do I see my model to support that idea? That's the conversation you should be having with yourself. What's my broker? I use Apex. Or, that's not Apex. No, I use Tradevate. Ryan, everything changed. They have intraday trailing drawdown accounts. They have end of day trailing drawdown accounts. They now have capped the amount of money you can take out from them. On an intraday account, the max potential payout you can get is $14,500 on a 50K account. On the end of day trailing drawdown on a 50K account, the max money you can pull out is $13,000. And you can't do it all at once. It's over 6 payouts. Those payouts need to be spaced out 5 days from each other with a minimum of $200 of profit per day. They do not have to be consecutive. Prices are still aggressively low. The intraday accounts, eval accounts, are $19.70 with the code DTJ, and the end of day accounts are $28 with the code DTJ. You don't need to get anywhere, AMS. You don't need anything. If your model shows up, you take your trade and be done. Now, I will say this. There are no denials. They will not deny anybody because they've removed all of the intraday rules. All the intraday rules are gone. No 1/5. No, there's just a 50% consistency rule on the funded accounts, but they've gotten rid of all the other rules. So there's no more denials. It's immediate payouts. There's some huge things in there that are attractive that rival against Take Profit Trader and Tradeify as far as speed of payout. Well, don't blow your end of day. I mean, you're still capped. So after you get your 6th payout, whether it's intraday or end of day, your account is dissolved. After your 6th payout. So all-in cost on a 50K account, end of day drawdown, is $128. For $128, you can make $13,000. $128 all in with the potential profit of $13,000 if you follow your rules. Still no fair value gaps here, folks. We're still sitting on our hands. We're still waiting. I'm going to use the 930 candle as our first presented fair value gap. Yes, Winnie. You buy a new one and you start over. You can still get up to 20 PAs at a time, Ryan. So if you, and as I said this before, if you get 20 PAs, you pass all 20 of them, and you take all 20 accounts to its max payout potential, you can make $260 of potential profits from 20 Apex end of day drawdown accounts. $128 times 20 is $2,500. So for $2,500, if you follow your rules, follow the plan, and get your 6 payouts and max out all your payouts, you can make $260,000 for only a total investment of $2,500. 100% profits, but 30-day evals and 6 payouts lifespan. They went all in on profiting off of evals. Yeah, they are planning on coming out with an instant funded account and a live account. So they're going from, they're trying to, I guarantee you they had some attorneys in their ears. Guaranteed. And they said, use your clout, go with this model. Everybody else is doing it. And to be honest with you, the capped payouts is going to become a thing in prop firms. It's just going to become a thing because that's how they're going to regulate risk. It's a smart move for every prop firm to do. So I'm not surprised if every prop firm eventually goes to it. My Funded Futures has it. My Funded Futures, theirs is only $5,000 for a 50K account. So you're going to pay $79 for an evaluation with My Funded Futures. That's your all-in cost. But your max potential profit is only $5,000. So Apex almost triples it. So when you look at My Funded Futures or Apex, if you like My Funded Futures, Apex makes My Funded Futures irrelevant. My Funded Futures is now irrelevant because Apex is the exact same product but better. Tradeify is still my top intermediate account. Same day payouts. That's such a nice one, guys. It is such a nice thing to have. I am a huge fan of Take Profit Trader. I'm a major fan of Take Profit Trader. No, it doesn't have a 6 payout lifespan. It has a $5,000 cap lifespan. You can look at it in 6 payouts or you can look at it in the total dollar amount. The total dollar amount is $13,000 for Apex. For My Funded Futures, it's $5,000. You can look at it that way, or you can look at it as 6 payouts. And then for My Funded Futures, they don't have a 6 payout structure. They just have a dollar amount you actually have to achieve to be able to get a payout. But the account is dissolved or you move to a live account after you make $5,000. I'm not a fan of instant funding at all, Josh. If you're interested in instant funded, you might as well trade with your personal account. I'm not interested in paying extra for speed. I'm interested in paying extra for better rules, better odds of getting payouts. That's what I'm interested in. All right, so still no fair value gaps. Still waiting. Yes, you just start over. You just start a new challenge. Yeah. Lad, moving to a live account means you're not able to copy trade 20 accounts and they're going to make you trade on one account. My Funded Futures will, if you have 5 accounts with My Funded Futures and you pass it, they will pause all your accounts and you'll trade one. I'm not a fan of that. Apex has said live accounts are coming soon, but my guess is they're not going to do anything for a while with that. I think that's just talk. Are you talking about from My Funded Futures or from Apex? Apex just came out with these new rules last night. Yeah, there is zero incentive. You are not trading a live account. Do not go to a prop firm for a live account. No, you trade to trade their money, to trade on simulated accounts, to protect your capital. That's why you do this. Not much to do right now, guys. ATR is at 34 handles. Yeah, fund your personal account with prop firm dollars. I guarantee you, BC, it's more of a legal move than anything else. It's a legal move, and it's a mitigation rule on their part. Nobody likes them, but they do it to protect themselves. Nobody wants to go to a funded account. I mean, I don't. That's why when I saw Top Step go all these people go into live accounts, I'm like, something's wrong here. So I don't like this. Something's wrong, and I've never liked Top Step. That's cool, Josh. All right, so we have an inversion on the 2-minute right here. We don't have a sweep of liquidity yet on the downside, so if it's trending, this will work. If not, this has a chance of failing. I would be more interested in this if we swept down here. But since I'm being very restrictive on opportunities that I'm taking, that eliminates this opportunity for me. We have a trend line. It could follow this trend line, give us an inversion, and run this high, target these levels up here. But if I'm going to trade, my models that I am more committed to are when I see sweeps of liquidity. Sweeps of liquidity is what I'm interested in. Yeah, I saw that they changed it to that. Yeah, I would, Ryan, if I'm looking at that, I would be looking at Friday's midpoint. It's so close from there. It's only 40 handles away from that. I'm not interested in any shorts. Liquidity is right here. We have our current day high. That's our high of day. We went just below. To me, that's liquidity. And because of how aggressive we've been moving higher, I'm not interested in any shorts. I'm going to see that as manipulation. I'd want to see us grab these levels here. To me, that's a key level. That's a key. These are key levels. And then once we hit these areas and time aligns, then I'd be more interested in. But there's a good chance that the 2-minute fair value gap, the inversion to the upside, could play out because we have liquidity sitting that close to it. That's 33 points if we close right here, but the chances of that happening is very low. My guess is it's going to close up here, and that makes a larger risk for us. And we don't have any sweep of liquidity. Funded Hive? Yeah, I did. I researched over 50 accounts for my next video. I went through 50 prop firms for the next video that I'm putting out. And I narrowed it down to 3 accounts. I don't remember the details with Hive though. But I went through a ton. News in 11 seconds. If it closes on the news candle above that fair value gap, that would be intriguing. Oh, I put a ton of work into that, Josh. I was just disappointed. Well, let me rephrase this. I was disappointed that Apex changed everything because it made my video irrelevant, but I'm so grateful that I did not post it last week or the week before, because then I would have put all that time and money into it, and that video would literally be irrelevant, and I'd have to make a brand new one. All prop firm videos that are comparing multi-accounts, multiple prop firms, are now irrelevant because Apex, which is a high contender in many areas, in a lot of things, because of their scalability, makes a lot of those videos irrelevant. So this will be one of the top high quality videos, one of the only ones in the space with the new information included with Apex. So here's that sweep. Now, with this sweep of liquidity, it's very small, but if we get an inversion, I'm more interested in that now. Hey, don't worry about it. You don't need a trade. You can hang out. It's to me, it's about the community. There's a sense of community, even though it's text on a screen for me and there's no voice conversation. It would be cool to maybe have somebody. Maybe I have like somebody, if people want to get in. This, I'm not gonna lie. I think I might need to take this. I'm going to take this. I'm taking this right now. That's just, I can't ignore that. I'm going to sell one contract here, and then I'm going to hold the next and put my stop at break even if we hit that high. I can't ignore that. I just hope it doesn't run against me. Yes, I do have a Discord. I don't like that close, but we're still a valid trade. I'm gonna let this reach higher, see if it wants to go any higher. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys can't see the trade. There it is. All right, so we're in this trade right now. Once we sweep that high, I'm going to be closing one contract. The reason why just one is I have a feeling we might want to reach for Friday's midpoint. I'm hoping it does, but this is not something I want to see. We can dip into this fair value gap here, but if we close below the 2-minute fair value gap, then I have to close the position. All right, I gotta close that. We just swept the high. I'm gonna hold one more contract and we'll see if this wants to play out here. Technically, my stop should be at break even. And I'm gonna close that at break even because we could roll over here. I'm not going to do dumb things. I will take one more trade. That was a quick scalp. Trade played out nicely. We waited patiently for that, guys. First trade at 10:03 or 10:01. That's a legitimate strategy what we just took right there. Great trade. It gave us an entry, it gave us a target, and it hit target. I should have closed both of them at the high because of the volatility we're seeing and how big these candles are. It stopped me out at break even. So I took that I basically got one contract in profit. Discord is not, it's part of the Purpose Driven Trader Academy, Cyber. It's a part of the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. So it's not free. Anybody that becomes a part of the academy, it's included in that for life. It's a one-time fee. And you're grandfathered into any new products that I put out. I'm currently building a 30-day roadmap for new traders, and that will be included for those that are in the academy. But once it's live, it will be a separate cost. All right, so hey, I'm overall that was not a bad exit. I mean, that was a great. This candle. So take a snapshot. This is what we want to see as far as an inversion to the upside. Sweep of liquidity, huge downside wick with a green candle. I will take that every single time. I will take it every single time. Literally, I'm serious. Mark this out. This is what you want to see. I didn't hesitate on taking that trade. Even if it failed, I would have told you I would have taken that every single time. And the hard part about taking a partial here and then putting the other stop to break even is that there's a good chance that it comes back down and stops you out. It's the worst part about taking expansion trades and taking these quick scalps. So it's almost better just to take the full profit, and even if it runs higher, you just accept it. IFVGs for life. I mean, what do I think about the stuff going on in the Middle East? I think overall it's, I don't know. There's so many conspiracies. So many, they're outside of the reason they tell us. I guarantee you it's not just. Here's the thing that I've learned about politics and governments is there's a public reason why they do it. Then there's additional reasons why they do it that they never disclose to the public. I think there are a lot of additional reasons they're doing this. Those are the conspiracies or theories that I'm referring to. But if we look at on a surface level, this is a great thing for Iran. It's a great thing for Iran. It's a great thing for the world. So, there is always things that happen behind the scenes that are additional motivators. Would the United States only do it for the public reason? I don't think so. I think there has to be additional reasons behind it. That's just my opinion. But either way, it's the reason why everybody's so excited about the charts. Day traders hear war. Ooh, it's going to be a great market. I need some new conspiracies because my old ones came true. That's funny. AMS, if you're consistently profitable, you can create an LLC to receive payouts. If you're looking at running a business, it will mitigate risk. You'll pay less in taxes. But there is a day trader status that you can apply for. You have to apply for it before April 15th, and you will save a lot more on taxes. There is a day trader qualification. A day trader qualification. There's the Friday midpoint. When did you get in, Ryan? It's on your dashboard. Go to your dashboard. I'm logging into the account just to make sure I can tell you exactly where it's at. When you log into your personal account, or your profile, if you scroll down, you'll see it on your account. So right here, this is the dashboard. Mine is right here. You'll see email preferences as you scroll down, and then my Tradevate account, there's your username and password. If you haven't set one up, you just click the setup button and you can set it up. All right, let's anticipate a sell-off here. Friday's midpoint has been hit. Way to go, Ryan. I'll check it out. Check out the video. Five-minute time frame here. We got a small 5-minute fair value gap right here. 5-minute fair value gap here. I'm open to taking a trade to the downside. I don't think we're going to keep pumping. I think that's foolish. But everybody that went short over last night, that's what they're mitigating. They're pulling all of those stops for a lower price action, in my opinion. So every person that went short here, 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 all the way down, has now their stops right above their entries, right? Everybody has their stops. So what does price do? Price aggressively runs those positions to get further short positions to go lower. That's how I'm treating this. So I'm treating that smart money is gathering short positions here, not going long. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm viewing price. And that's the context you should be looking at it as well if you want to be on side of these big movers, these big trades. We are individual traders. We're not moving the market like these behemoths are. So we have to be on side with them. And this is how they enter positions. They enter shorts. They enter short positions when price is moving higher, while at the same time grabbing liquidity. So always look left. Where is the point that it could stop? This is a good stopping point. Could it go higher? Yeah, it could go to these swing highs. Maybe there's more up here that it wants to grab. Okay? But even in all of this, I'm still looking at lower prices. That's how I treat moves like this. Now, I could be wrong and it just goes higher and higher and higher and higher, and then the short is the following day. Maybe the short doesn't come at all. But this is how I choose to view price, and it's done me good. It's fared well for me. Look at the wicks reaching above the midpoint, but the body's staying beneath it. I don't think we go much higher on the 4 hour, to be honest with you. I think, look, I just take a look at this. Who wrote that? 4 hour hot rod. Okay, this 4 hour candle is going to be here for 4 hours. Here's our order block. Look where the last candle closed. Do you see that? Do you see what I just marked? Yes, it created an order block right here, but look how nicely that 4 hour candle closed at the opening price of this order block. Okay, so in the next 4 hours, I anticipate that this closes around here or lower. That's how I'm treating that. Yes, it's green now, but I'm treating this as the future wick of the 4 hour candle. This will be a future wick of the 4 hour candle. That's how I treat it. It's not always right, but it works well for me. Same thing over here. The body closed beneath these two green up close candles. I'm treating this as a future wick. Any higher price action here, I'm treating as a wick for the candles to go lower. Just in light with the news. In light of war, the market typically drops 1 to 1.5% the following day. We might already be down 1 and 1.5% for the day. Look where the current high, the previous high of day was. See how it's right at this order block? I'm going to use this as a breaker to the downside. High, low, higher high. We hit liquidity. We hit my point of interest. I'm seeing displacement now to the downside. Now I want it to come back up and reference this level on a future candle, and I'll use that as my entry point. Probably looking for these equal lows down here. This will probably be my only trade. I'll pull up the words for you so you can see AMS, what it is exactly. One minute looks good. Let's see if it holds. If it gives me an inversion to the upside, I won't take it. But I'm gonna wait for this candle to close just because of how aggressive it was. All right, I'm I'm not going to do anything now. I'm still going to wait. We just had an inversion of this fair value gap. Aggressively. That's 40 points on that. We didn't sweep any liquidity right here, so it could fail. But I was more interested in the higher prices, and we're just getting a lot of back and forth right now. So idea is not there anymore. Even if it plays out, I'm looking for clean moves. I don't want to take a sloppy trade. So trade idea is now gone. We're going to sit and wait. %50 consistency rule. Let me pull it up. I'll hook you up. Okay, so what this means. Here's the 50% consistency rule. It says right here, the 50% consistency rule ensures that no single trading day accounts for more than 50% of your total accumulated profit at the time of your requested payout. So, for example, what does that mean? If you have 5 days of trading and for 4 days you make $200, but your 5th day you make $1,000, that's over 50% of your total profit. That total profit is $1,800, but you made $1,000 of that $1,800 if you take, let me show you the math now. If you take 1,000 divided by 1,800, 1,000, or is it the other way around? Divided by 1,800. See how that says 55? So I broke the 50% consistency rule because my $1,000 profit was more than the total profits I made before I was able to take my payout. So if I was going to meet that 50% rule, I would have had to keep my profits under $900. So if I take $900 on that last trading day divided by 1,700, that comes out to 52. That's still too high. So let's do 800. Divided by 1,600 in total profits. There it is. So if I was going to not break the rule, my first 4 trading days of 200, 200, 200, 200, on my 5th trading day, I couldn't make more than $800, which would accumulate to $1,600. That's how it works. I think overall, Mark, the new Apex rules are going to be great for new traders. I have a whole video on it. I just posted it last night if you want to watch the rules. All right, look at this order block. I like this. I like this order block right here. That's a nice order block. That makes trades to the downside more attractive, in my opinion. Failure swing to the upside. creation of an order block. Technically, it hasn't been created yet. We got to wait another minute. So we'll see if it actually creates one for us. But I'm sitting on the 2-minute time frame. I like the way the 2-minute looks better. I don't like the 3-minute. I like the 2-minute because we have some down close candles that gives me some structure. We hit the 5-minute fair value gap right here. 15-minute fair value gap, we have already tagged on that initial move higher that we took. The hourly, see, the hourly has wicked above there, so we do have a sweep of liquidity on the hourly, and we have a sweep on the 4-hour. So I'm anticipating that this becomes a wick, at least for the time being, to look for a trade to the downside. That's what I want to look for. If it doesn't give me any options, then I'm not going to take a trade. All right, so we don't have an order block yet. It never closed below this. That's why we wait for the close of the candle. Thank you, Cyrus. Type in MESH6. Or on the bottom right, you just have to make sure it's continuing. So if I'm over here, if I'm on ES, that's on the left side of my screen. On the bottom right, you'll see this B-ADJ. Make sure that's selected. ADJ says adjust for the contract changes. So if you are on a continuing contract, just make sure that is selected and you should be fine. Well, I'm on, this is NQ. So on my TradingView, I'm on NQH. On my Tradevate account, I'm on MNQ. So I do all my analysis on the primary contract, and then I use my micros for execution. The logic in that is that the volume is in the minis, and it's the primary mover, and MNQ is designed to follow it. So I want to do my analysis based on when NQ hits key levels, not when MNQ does. MNQ typically follows suit, but it can be more wicky, so I want to ignore the wicks on MNQ and focus on NQ. Order block meaning? Order block is when you got an up close candle followed by a down close candles that close below it. This up close candle can be a point where price will return to and find resistance. There's more to it, but you can anticipate it moving away. I can give you example after example of that. I said from the beginning today, folks, I'm going to be extra diligent, extra patient. I didn't want to let the energy of potential good price action to get me and fill me in bad positions. How many of you traded right when the market opened at 6 p.m. last night? Come on, be honest. I did. And I shouldn't have. I did and I shouldn't have. I made money on one account and then I took one trade on another account and I lost money on that account. And I'm like, what am I doing? This is stupid. And I stopped. I'm like, come on. You're falling into the trap of the excitement of what's going to happen with the charts, and it's like all logic goes out the window. So as soon as that happened, I made a comment in the Discord, and I'm like, guys, I'm setting a rule for myself, one trade. I was up so late last night working on some videos. I did relook at the market when the market was in London, and I did take a trade during London session, and it played really nicely. But even still, because I don't do it that often, I felt uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable because I'm never up that late. But with everything that was going on, I had to get some videos done. I had to re-record some stuff. I'm working on a project, and all of this was happening right there. I'm like, okay, I'm still up. Let's take a look. Oh, man. Yeah, I do, but still, it scratches the itch. But the thing is, I want to be in control. And I feel like every time I take a who cares trade, I'm giving up control on my ability to say no. There is legitimate strategies of saying, all right, I'm going to have a YOLO account, and then I'm going to have my strict account. There's legit reasons to do that. I'm finding that I can't separate the two. So I want to have discipline over every area of my trading. So when I click a button, I'm like, why did I click that button? Oh, it was because of the excitement and the motion. I wasn't in control. My emotions were more in control than me waiting for a legitimate setup. When I recognize that, then that is the point where I have to make a choice. And that choice is, do I let my emotions stay in control, or do I take back the reins and exercise dominion over my feelings? I chose to exercise dominion. All right, there's a breaker right here. It doesn't look bad. I kind of want to wait right here. See this? There's the breaker. There's the fair value gap. Here's an order block that's supporting price from going higher, or preventing it potentially from going higher. I don't like the time, so we're going to see how it plays out, and if we get closer to 9:45, I might pull the trigger on it. Also, we could still use London, or the previous day, the current day high that we had right here, and use that as a point of a reason for it to come back up to this down close candle inside of this fair value gap to the downside, reclaimed fair value gap, and this inversion fair value gap right there. So there's a lot that could happen right here, and I just want to be patient and see. If we start seeing that resistance of rolling over, I will use that and take a trade right there, running for these levels down here. I'll be right back, folks. Sorry about that, folks. Back here. All right, so we ended up closing higher. Yeah, we're just gonna continue to sit here. Yeah, what I like didn't show up. We are getting higher lows in regards to a trend, but we're sitting at a point where I'm not interested in trying to go longer until I know that this is an area where we want to find support. What would be nice to see if we get a little sweep of liquidity here and displacement in this direction. And this would be just a sweep of the 10-hour candle or the 1-hour candle within the same hour, but it still would make, it would hit the midpoint on ES, and we'd hit the close of the opening range gap. So there's some confluences there that are overlapping. Okay, pay attention here. You can see this right here. This is Friday's midpoint. We never hit that. At the same time, what did we not hit on NQ? We didn't close the gap on NQ. So when you use ES and NQ as confluences, you're not looking for them to both hit midnight open, both to hit the swing high. You're looking for them to both hit a point of liquidity. This is that liquidity or imbalance. It's time for a music change. Who told me about that one music? That one guy that does work. I can't remember. It was like EDM Christian or something. Yeah, it's this one. I'm open to this trade right here. If we can get a setup, ES hit a inversion fair value gap from a breaker. So, and then we would also have an SMT. So ES did not make the higher high and Q made the higher high. If we get displacement, I'll look at taking a trade. Short. Yeah, this is EDM Central. Yeah, that's the long that we took, Ryan. We took that inversion to the upside. Rihanna is back. You have to purchase them individually. Which account are you getting? Are you getting the trailing or end of day drawdown? The trailing is $79. The end of day drawdown is $99 for the activation fee. There is no membership with Apex. You have 30 days to pass your evaluation. I remember when I first discovered EDM music, my head just goes like this. What's my recommendation for you? If you're brand new, go with end of day trailing drawdown. Activation fee is the cost it takes when you're using a prop firm to go from their evaluation phase to the funded phase. Some people have a fee to go from one account to the other. Apex is one of them. Take Profit Trader doesn't have an activation fee. Tradify doesn't have an activation fee, but their cost for their evaluation is higher. Apex for the end of day trailing drawdown is $28. Tradify is $115. When you incorporate the activation fee and the cost for the evaluation for Apex, the total is $128. So all in, $128 for Apex, $115 for Tradify. It's $13 more. But if you fail the evaluation account with Apex, you're only out of pocket $28 compared to $115 if you fail it with Tradify. They might be doing that. Yeah, so if you use if they're doing a special, which I didn't, let me see if I got an email on that. All right, we're getting that displacement. Around here is where I look for price to come up into and then take a short. Yeah, I don't think that's true. Whoever put that comment that there's no activation fee, that's not true. Whoever's promoting that is wrong. Price is looking too strong here. We reached for this fair value gap. Let me see how these candles close here. Sean, tell me what page it was on, and I'll take a look. But I just went to their website. It's $79 for the trailing drawdown account and $99 for end of day drawdown accounts. So all in, if you pass your evaluation for the trailing drawdown account, it's $98 all in with the cost of the evaluation and the activation fee. And then there's for the end of day trailing drawdown, it's $128. $28 for the eval, $99 for the activation fee. don't have a breaker here for me to take a trade against. I do have one on ES. ES's breaker is right here. We tapped it. So what I can do is I can trade the inversion to the downside. I would prefer to not do it on the expansion but get it in the retracement, but I'm concerned based on the strength that we could go higher. Yeah, the rules are fairly simple to find. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Apex site here. Here's the Apex new site. Scroll down. This orange box are the old rules. This box is the new rules. I'm gonna take a short. If we close above this fair value gap, I'm going to get out. We stopped at this fair value gap. We stopped at the breaker. If we close above this, I will be out. I like the points that we're at. Body stain below these highs. We have a sweep of liquidity here. Some displacement lower. So we're gonna take this shot and see if it gives it to us. It's as good as any other setup. If we close above that, that's what I'm looking at. We're on a breaker on ES. There's the breaker, and we're respecting that breaker pretty nicely. It's a little more sloppy on NQ. I'm using the SMT from ES to NQ, and then using these lows here to pull price lower. So I'm gonna hold this. If we can start moving, it would be nice. $24,802 is the top of the fair value gap. So this would be a 120 point trade if it gets all the way down to the hourly fair value gap, to these lows down here. That's where we would be targeting. So I'm looking for the expansion to displace below these lows. That's how I know I'm on the right side. Then I can move my stop to break even. Until then, the reason I will close this position is if we inverse this fair value gap. Right here. That is where I will, if we close above that fair value gap, I will close that position. Yeah, just the recent lows. Hourly fair value gap is what I'd prefer. That might be a stretch. The 15-minute already took out. The 30-minute is at 800. So for the hourly and the 30-minute, we're looking at 24,802. I think that's a great, to me, that's a logical place. ES is showing the structure for it as well. I'll set the stop loss at this internal swing high, just in case it just decides to explode higher and within one candle. And the potential target is at 802 right here. So those are my targets. Again, if we close above this, I will be getting out of the position. No monthly fees, but you only have 30 days to pass it, Ryan. I mean, if we're going to hit the hourly at 800, I mean, there's a high probability we hit the 794 level. No, they just closed. Your account is dissolved. All right, what are we at? 22 seconds. Let's see if this closes above it. All right, I closed the position. The idea did not do what I wanted it to do. Even if it runs lower, it's not the idea. Yeah, it runs in my direction, but it's not the idea that I wanted. If anything, this looks great for a long, but I'm not going to take that either. Elizabeth, you're looking on the old accounts. It's 5 days. You're looking on the old information. That's not correct. It's 5 days. So that trade put me back to break even from the initial trade that I took. Yep. Put me back at break even. So I'm at break even. None of the one trade played out for me. The other trade did not. So I closed immediately and decided it's not showing what I wanted to see. So now I sit and I wait for something else to show me that it wants me to take the trade. I'm not gonna just be like, oh, it must be going the other direction. Let's reverse our position. No. If you started one before, you're in the old rules. I literally read every page, guys. Why don't you wait for price to displace outside the range to trade inside the trading or inside of trading inside the range? That's a legitimate strategy. Internal or external liquidity to internal liquidity. I already looked at us grabbing external liquidity and was anticipating we were going to run for internal liquidity. That's what this high was. I anticipated this was our external liquidity sweep and we were going to run for some internal liquidity down here. I was doing that exact thing. So right now I'm looking at ES thinking to myself, maybe it does want to sweep that high and tag the midpoint. And that could be the point where we see price rotate over. Don't know. We'll see. No, Clarkson. I was up till 3:30 a.m. this morning, and I woke up just in time to get my kids to school, and then I sat down. I was extremely tired. You betcha, Keith. God bless you, my friend. Yeah, my day's going to end here in a few minutes. All right, so now we are hitting midpoint on ES. Let's see what happens. I'm still interested in shorts. So I apologize for not having an affirmation today. We'll have one the rest of the week. I just, right after this, I then have to go drop my car off and sit in a lobby for 2 hours while they work on a headlight on my Tesla. And I might bring my pillow and sleep in the car while they do it. I'm tired. They're floating in the bottom of the sea. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they went full force on this. End of day trailing drawdown means your balance does not. How do I describe it? All right. Let's use easy numbers, and then from here I'm going to probably call it a day. Here is the difference between trailing drawdown and end of day drawdown. Trailing means if you're in a trade and your balance goes up $100, so does your max loss. They both just went up. Even though you don't close the position, if it reaches another 100 points, your stop loss goes up. Even if you close it at $100, it reached $200, but you closed it at 100, your stop loss will go up $200. It's designed to make you not let trades go from green to zero. That's what they're trying to prevent. Hey, if you're green, take the profit and walk away. That's what they're basically saying. End of day says this: I'm not going to change what your max loss is until the end of the day. Whatever that balance is, if you're up $200 by the end of the day, your max loss will go up $200. It only moves at the end of the day instead of intraday trading. That's the difference. So intraday trailing drawdown is much more aggressive against new traders. End of day drawdown is ideal for new traders. Oh yeah, Jason, 100%. It makes waiting way easier. You just like this. All right, we have a breaker to the upside. Right on Friday's midpoint right there. Attractive. If we do see higher prices, that would be a trade for Ryan. That would be that entry. I think I'm going to take one more shot at a short towards this fair value gap for a quick scalp and see if we can get something out of that. Small, very 1 minute breaker here. Just looking to see if it wants to expand lower here. It doesn't need to go all the way down here. I'm just looking for this fair value gap. Right there. So I'm going to take profit at 920. That's where I'll take profit. See if it can give it to me there. It'll be a 20-point trade. My stop is a close above this. go. That's what I'm looking for. That's all I'm looking for. Target hit, and I'm just gonna close everything there. I really don't care. It's the end of my trading day. I want to be done anyway. That puts me green on the day. $200 for each account. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm not gonna mess around with anymore. I'd rather be done anyway. I gotta take my car into the shop. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm going to bring my phone, my microphone, and I'm going to make some TikToks. Yeah, that's what you heard me say. I'm going to make some TikToks. All right, that's it for me today, guys. God bless. Hey, we'll be doing our private live stream tomorrow. If you're not part of the Academy, consider joining. We'd love to have you. It's a one-time cost, and it includes the Discord. It includes 2 private trading sessions a week. We'd love to have you. Check it out, purposedriventrader.com. With that, guys, God bless. Stay safe. Use the code DTJ if you're going to get those Apex accounts. Let me know what you guys think, and check out that video on Apex if you want the full breakdown. Other than that, guys, God bless. Stay safe. See you guys later. Bye-bye.